Hi, everyone. So this was a long time coming, but I'm really excited about it. We have Lauren Paglionico, founder of LRN Beauty, with us today. So, yay.
We're really excited to have her on.
I'm really excited
Totally.
to be here, guys. I'm super excited. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Of
Thanks for
course.
coming on with us.
So just a little background. Lauren and I met in New York. It's a funny story. We were at my father's restaurant, and she just sat down at a table next to me one day. I was at lunch with my sister, and she shows up with her fiance, who I've known since I'm a kid, actually. So he saw
Sure.
me growing up, like working in New York, being in the Italian crew of New York. And so little does she know this, and she just sees me like my little sister. Oh my god, she's so cute, and we just hit it off like chemistry right away.
True.
And literally after, I mean, it took us what, like an hour of conversation over lunch, and then it's been like connection ever since, and an ever blossoming one that became so like so really dear to my heart. Like I love you. I love you so much. I'm so proud of everything you're doing. I'm so excited to let everyone know about it. Um, and I'm happy to be able to bring you and Dorit together because you're two of my like goddesses. Yeah.
I'm really
uh,
excited too, and I love you, and I've loved watching your progress. And I miss you. You're in Italy, and you're supposed to come home, but it's okay.
who knows when I'm coming home, if I ever come
Right,
home.
right. But yeah, I mean, it was really funny. Like she said, my husband now. We walk in, and I hear Marcello. It's me, Tatiana, and I'm like, God. He's like, and my husband is very expressive, right? I mean, he was like, Tatiana? And then finding out, he's like, I mean, Tatiana would be in the restaurant. She'd be yelling at someone in French. She's yelling at someone in Italian. She's 5 years old. Yelling at them. Oh, yeah. And then the really interesting part is, she started talking her woo stuff, and I'm like taking it. I'm like, who is this girl? And she had this big rose ring on. And in my head, I said, I really like that ring. Didn't say it out loud, nothing. She goes to the bathroom, she comes back, something happens, and she goes, oh, so that's why you like my ring. And I go, I didn't say that out loud. I go, how did you know that I like? And I looked at Marcello, and he looked at me. I'm like, yeah, like she's a witch.
Swear, I didn't even know this until after the fact. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's why you like my ring. I'm like, she heard me.
Connection.
And that was it. So here we are now, 3 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And, you are literally the first person who I have allowed to touch my hair. I've been in quarantine, guys. We've all been in quarantine, but she's the last person that touched my hair, the first one who put color in my hair. I might have done it when I was like 13 or 14 years old, but you literally became the only person that I allowed to,
Oh, thank you.
play and be like, just do whatever. I trust you. And, ever since, I've just never gone back to my natural color.
And look how beautiful it's grown in all this time.
Yeah, so I want to kind of get into it and let people know, like your magic and, you're all about unveiling your true beauty from the inside out. So it's very much, feeling beautiful from the inside. And it's not just about the hair, it's a whole kind of package with you. And so I think it's really important, especially during this time, that we're getting into wellness and beauty, and more people are conscious of that and that connection. So tell us what you've been up to these days.
Well, this has been such a precious time, and I'm finding joy in everything. It's funny because I grew up on Long Island, so I grew up surrounded by nature. And every time I'm on the phone with my mom, I'm like, oh my God, Mom, I saw this beautiful red cardinal the next day. I'm like, oh my God, this bumblebee was just like, Lauren, you grew up on Long Island. You act like you've never seen nature before. I said, I know, but it's taken me finally slowing down to see it again. And I think that for women, right? I mean, we love beauty, we love makeup, we love hair, but I think it's taken slowing down to realize that it's more than just outer, right? Like maybe we needed this to happen so that we can see how, how much deeper it is. So.
Okay. I mean, look, Dorit, how has it been for you? I mean, it's been tough, like I'd love to, do a little touch up, but it's been everything else that we're falling back on, right? Just self-care, us doing it for ourselves.
Completely.
How has it been for you?
I mean, with my self-care regimen, it's kind of like I roll out of bed, I'll wash my hair, let it go curly. I haven't done my hair for like 2 months, I said.
Okay. I mean, that's wonderful because
exactly.
Break.
Exactly. And it needs a break. It really needed a break. And I wanted it to grow out anyway. So it's been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of women are finding that too. I hope, I think in the beginning, oh my God, I have roots. Oh my God, I need a haircut. And now it's like, okay, I'm going to embrace this. For me, being in the beauty industry, I'm like, okay, I have roots, but I can style my hair differently so that doesn't look as severe. Like I know, like it's such second nature for me that I don't think of it that way.
Right.
For me, it's like, I need a manicure and a pedicure. I'm dying for that right now.
Same. I mean, it's been helpful that I don't have to see anyone to impress these days. So it's okay. I'm still holding up.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the industry? How did you get into this work?
So basically, on my 14th birthday, my mom was like, happy birthday, you have to get a job. You have your working papers now. What?
Surprise.
Yeah, she's like, my friend's friend has a salon in the neighborhood where I was living, growing up. She's like, and they need someone to come and wash hair and clean, and that's what you're gonna do. And I was like, my friends like work in the deli and Mandy's, the clothing store.
Oh my God.
I remember Mandy's.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Like, no, I wanna. She's like, no, you're not gonna learn anything working in those places. You'll learn things, but no, like I want you to learn a craft. I was like, okay, fine, I'll do this. So I didn't tell her or anyone, just a friend. I was like, my mom wants me to go get a job at this salon, but I don't know what it's like. So I'm going to get a haircut with the owner and see, what she's like. And I went, and I had hair down to my waist, and I showed her, my mom's high school graduation photo, and she had never met my mom. So my mom had an angled, beautiful cut, and she's like, yeah, this, your hair's so long, we have to bring it up. I was like, all right, yeah, do it. So I ended up leaving it hair up to here. But after she was finished, I was like, by the way, my mom is Janice. She's friends with Jill, and she told me to, come speak with you about getting a job here. Let me check it out first, right?
Totally.
And she's like, okay. She's like, great. When can you start? I was like, this Saturday, because I was in school, right? So she's like, all right, come by Friday after school, and I could walk there from school, and I could walk to my house from there. So she's like, come after school, and I'll train you, and we'll go from there. And I liked it immediately off the bat. So yeah, it was fun, it was inspiring, and then I felt like I wanted more. So I started working at another salon in the neighborhood, and that was the upscale salon. And that's when I really saw a future in this. I was like, wow, okay, I can do this. And I also started going to cosmetology school at that time. I was really fortunate that my high school was also collaborated with a trade school. So you could do a trade half the day and then go do your classes. And by the time I was graduating high school, I was graduating with a cosmetology license. And it was free.
That's amazing.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So I started working in a salon in the city then. I started working at the John Barrett salon at Bergdorf Goodman. And I was so impressed. And even though I was working on Long Island, taking clients and everything, and, I took a step back and I was like, no, I want to assist again. I want to relearn everything. I want to learn all these new techniques that they're doing and teaching and go from there. Because at that point I was only 19 or 20.
Yeah, and you're still like a sponge, and you can
Yeah, like
totally
I want to
pick up
absorb
so
it
much.
all.
Totally.
Yeah, and then that's where I saw balayage for the first time, which is the hair painting technique. And I was like, whoa, this looks so easy. You know, you just sweep it on. And then I remember like having my first color class, and it was the hardest thing I've ever learned, ever.
I
Still to
mean, literally, when I see you doing that to my hair, I'm like, oh yeah, like you're just like painting on a canvas. I wish I could do that. I definitely wouldn't be able to. Like, even in this quarantine, I'm like, how can I do this? I'm like,
it looks so easy, but you know what? So does, you know, when you watch Bob Ross do a painting and he's painting how beautiful trees, you try to do it and you're like, I'm doing that same stroke as him. Why isn't it coming out that way? It's the same. So again, it's like that repetition. So I had really great education there. I learned about the Bergdorf blonde, which is, you know, really helped with the foundation of my expertise being blonde hair. I started to see that we wanted to give our clients more than what they were getting in a factory salon. You know, we really wanted to give them a more personal experience. And, you know, unfortunately, I think every salon starts out that way, but the bigger it gets, the more difficult it is to give your undivided attention, right? When you go into these factory salons and, you know, you got to see 5 other people, talk to 5 other people before you even sit in your stylish chair. And it can also be very intimidating. And I never want anyone to feel intimidated to come receive a service, right?
Or feel rushed, I guess, too.
Or feel rushed, right? Like you want to feel like you're getting your money's worth, but you also want to feel alive, right? I mean, you're doing this to fulfill something within. Like, yes, you're doing it because it makes you look good, but it also, like, you don't want to leave there feeling drained.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
No?
And also, it's just like, it's a vibe, right? Like, you want good vibes, you want to leave relaxed and like full of life and ready to go about your day or like your evening. It's, you know, and if you're being either rushed or you're dealing with 20 million people, you can leave feeling ungrounded and frazzled. I mean, that's definitely happened to me. I don't know about anyone else, but for sure. And not with you ever once did that happen.
Thank you.
And it's really like creating a relationship too, right? Because you don't want to keep seeing different people. You want to have a rapport with one person that you keep returning back to.
And it's amazing how you could be with that one person for hours, and then the last person you talk to could shift your entire experience and make you never want to go back there again.
Exactly. And I guess that kind of segues into our next question. What was the shift that got you into this approach to beauty? Because it's such a unique approach, especially getting into it, you know, a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, for as long as I can remember, I was always interested in the metaphysical world. I remember seeing an astrology book in my house when I was around 7. As a teenager, I would go to these little shops that sold crystals and oils, and I was always very curious. And then in my 20s, I started to see a lot of psychics in my chair, sitting in my chair, healers, mediums. So yeah, it really started to open me up. I mean, I was always curious about it, but it wasn't until my 30s that I realized it's something I could implement into my business. And at that point, I already kind of, in my late 20s was when I awakened, and I started meditating and doing yoga and really tapping into those gifts and realizing even more how beauty is from within. And then I had a reading with a shaman who was like, oh, you're supposed to be doing Reiki. Like, you did Reiki in a past life. You're supposed to be doing this within, you know, beauty. Like, you touch people. You're touching their crown chakra. Hello. And I'm like, really? I'm like, you know what? I've been hearing this my whole life. I'm going to go with it. And she introduced me to her Reiki master, who then I met and was like, yeah, hello. Like, you're supposed to be doing this. And that was it. And then I did my Reiki 1 with her. And then I did my Reiki 2 with another fairy godmother, Reiki mama. And I really have been implementing it ever since.
Right. So when your clients are in your chair, you do Reiki with them as well?
So.
Or how does it come about?
Basically, I start the day by doing it. I open space by doing it. I never want to pressure anyone into feeling like they have to have it. I think somehow it organically comes up in conversation. More than anything, it happened at the shampoo bowl.
Oh, interesting.
In the chair, because then they're laying back and it's like you're being anointed with oils, you're being anointed with shampoo.
Right.
And I think scalp massage is such an important thing, so I implemented into the scalp massage.
Dorit, honestly, I'm like falling asleep every time she starts massaging my head. I'm like, please don't stop.
I mean, it sounds super relaxing.
Don't stop.
Hair washed, so that's
no, but the best part is I didn't know this, you know, like there was that connection the first time, but what I didn't expect was going in and smelling Palo Santo and seeing the crystals on. I was just like, oh yeah, I just walked into my house. This is amazing.
Right. And I always wanted to feel like you're going from your house to your home.
Yeah. Like a sanctuary.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, beauty and wellness go hand in hand, you know, self-care, self-love, self-improvement, you know, it's much deeper than the outside. And that's something I always say, I always talk about with my clients. Some aren't awake yet and some haven't seen that. And then some are like, yeah, like I feel that way too. And that's when they want to, you know, go deeper, you know?
Yeah. It's a nice way to open the conversation and like show them a little taste of a different world if they're not used to that approach, right?
Right. I mean, so many times a woman will sit in my chair, we're having conversation, we're having a great time, and all of a sudden she's like, oh God, I'm so relaxed. I said, you don't stop. Right? In New York, we don't stop moving, and suddenly you're being forced to sit in my chair for 3 hours.
Right.
You're going to finally relax, and then maybe when you relax, that's when things start coming to the surface.
Yeah.
It's relaxing, but it's also for people like us, Dorit, it's like play, because you go and then you have the oracle cards and the this, and then, you know, she's like, pick your crystal, do your little meditation, what affirmation, and it's just like you're like in this world, and it's like you're relaxing, but you're doing your wellness, your everyday wellness like routine while you're in the chair, because she has all the stuff to facilitate, you know, those 3 hours with, if you're into that, you know, if you're into it. I mean, so I'm just there and I'm relaxed, but I'm playing and I'm stimulated. I'm like, what else do you have in your drawer?
I pick another card. I'm like, yeah, you pick another card.
I think it's
up taking 10 cards.
It's amazing. And I think it's like the perfect place to do it, because I know when I'm sitting in a chair and, you know, getting any color done or just waiting around, I'm just on my phone. You know, I'm just like looking at my phone. I'm still connected to the outside world. So I personally haven't been in your chair, but just hearing about all of this, I'm just like, wow, that's honestly the perfect mixture of like relaxation and self-care.
So like if you think about old school going to the hairdresser years ago, it's all like gossip magazines. Right. It's like all stuff that kind of just, yes, there's a place for all of that too when you want to disconnect and just be human, like totally. But the fact that you have the option and you can actually add value to yourself, like internally, energetically, while you're doing this, is just like, you want to go. Like you want to go, you're not like, oh my God, I have 4 hours that I have to sit in a chair today. It's just like, I don't know what's going to come up. I might end up talking to someone amazing. That's the other part of the experience.
That's the other part for sure. You know, I have just all little things around the salon. So even if it's not something that I'm bringing up to speak about, they're like, why is that crystal there? Or they just walk over and they just start touching it. Like, you know, they want to know what it means. I have, you know, my friend who's a shaman, I have her books in the salon. I have a feather sitting there. I have like all these little things to, you know, so if you are curious and you want to open up the conversation, ask about it, that, you know, then let's go for it.
Right.
You know, I think people want to be seen and heard, and they want to look and feel beautiful, because it gives them confidence, right? I mean, maybe besides the services, wellness is providing a space for people to be themselves without judgment.
I love that. And I think that's so true, because we work on ourselves so much, or we're so used to working on ourselves so much on the outside, and then we don't really take enough time to do that work on the inside. So it's nice to have the balance of both of those, for sure.
Definitely. I mean, what's, you know, because you can't hold space for something that you don't like adopt or practice yourself. So what's your personal wellness routine like that, some of this has to be in it. Come on.
So, believe it or not, I'm an evening routine person. I am not a morning person. I love to sleep. I wish I could tell you that I wake up at 5 a.m. and meditate, and I dream about doing that. And so many of the people I idolize, they sleep for 3-4 hours a night, and then they start their day when it's dark out. I wish I was that person.
I'm not that person.
I think we can all agree on this.
That's okay. And I really embrace that, I'm not that person. So for me, like I love to sleep. I think sleep is so good for you. It's really nourishing for your brain. Lack of sleep is, if you listen to Ariana Huffington, like she's like, that's a no-no. Like that is so not good for you.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I think it's really therapeutic and healing. But when I wake up, that's it. It's music time, 24/7. Headphones in, headphones out, on the big screen, on my phone when I'm in the shower. Like I live for music. To me, it is music has superpowers. Like it is so healing, and it can really set the mood. Or like when you're cooking, you put on a certain kind of music. When you're getting ready, you put on a certain kind of. Sometimes you're having a bad day and you want to just listen to like Tori Amos and just like go deep into it, and then you come out and you feel amazing, right? But yeah, I mean, Guns N' Roses, Erykah Badu, Fleetwood Mac, like those are all my people. And I can meditate to Guns N' Roses, no problem, So I can meditate at any time at all. So I think maybe that's why I don't feel the need to be up at 5 a.m. because I can do it on the subway. I can tap in. But that was something that, it's like flexing the muscle. It wasn't easy at first. When I get home from work, though, that's when my routine begins. I wash off my makeup. I have a cup of tea. Like I love evening self-care rituals before bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I have this really great body butter by a company called The Kind Body, and it has frankincense, and I rub it on my belly, and it just helps me to sleep. And I rub it like all here, like on my digestive system. I have a Palo Santo essential oil that I rub on my wrist, so like when I sleep, I can smell it at night. Yeah, I mean, I have certain crystals next to my bed, on the floor by my head, amethyst, so I can sleep and be calm. I journal, I read a little bit, of a book, and then I pray and go to bed. I express gratitude for the day, and that's it. So yeah.
It sounds like compressing.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I think that sounds like
before 10 a.m.
Yeah. I think after living in New York City too, like going a full day, full speed and working and just being around that energy, you need that decompressing time, to just
100%.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the city that doesn't sleep, right? I mean, it's
even when you're sleeping, it's like full energy outside in your environment. I mean, I've been in the middle of nature for the last 2 years. We're on the phone the other day and I start hearing the ambulance in the background. I'm like, what? I forgot what that sounded like.
That's my response though to seeing a cardinal and a bumblebee.
Right.
And saying that to my mom, like, oh my God, like you forget those little things.
Right.
Right. I mean, an ambulance, yeah. I mean, when I hear sounds of the city now, I'm like, oh, I wish I could be out there on the street hearing it.
Isn't it crazy how like we experience things so differently under different circumstances and with different stressors, and it's just like the meaning of things change, like the association, the stress level.
Interesting place. I mean, I feel like everyone has a love-hate relationship with it.
Yes. I mean,
I think all three of us here have that.
Yeah. When you're not there, you miss it. When you're in it, you're like, I want to get out of here.
Exactly. Completely.
Can't win.
Yeah. And I guess so the next question that we have is, so what are some products and services, events, and women-based empowerment events that you have going on right now?
So I love to host events. I mean, I'm a Gemini, so I love to connect people. I love networking. I love communicating. I love bringing people together. I mean, Tatiana will tell you that firsthand. I'm like, you need to meet this person. He's going to introduce you to this
100%.
Live for that. And those people that I recommend are really sacred to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, why why just keep recommending it when I can create something on my website, which I created the LRN Network for all of my clients and people who aren't clients but are interested in like-minded experiences, you know, whether they want to reach out to Tatiana and have, you know, a life coaching session, whether they want to reach out to a dermatologist, you know, and talk about their, you know, their skincare and their skin goals, you know, from fashion. I mean, I have everybody on that network. So that was something that I recently created and I'm really excited about. I love connecting women. I love being their cheerleader. My events,
which, by the way, just really a quick side note,
yeah,
this is part of the beauty that I love in you, because that's not something that every woman can do. And you know, the way you share your network and the people that are special to you and the way that you uplift and support, you know, it's just like, I think it's such a beautiful example, you know, especially it's inspiring also to other women, because you are teaching that this is actually what we're supposed to be doing. It's like we are supposed to be a community of goddesses supporting each other and not competing with each other, not feel, you know, just like opening and having an open heart and being like, the more success you have, the more success I have. And that's what I love about you, is that you don't preach that, you totally live it. And you're always like, who can I connect you with? What do you need? Like, how can I help you get in touch with that person? Or, you know, and it's just like a really beautiful side of you. And not even side, it's just part of who you are.
Yeah, it's part of who I am.
Beautiful, you know.
I really, you know, I was raised in a family that, you know, really there's no jealousy. There's no female jealousy or competition, you know, coming from a big Italian family, right? It's like everything is all about love 24/7. But maybe it's because I'm an only child, you know, so it's like my sisters are the friends that I've made over the years. And I just, I want everyone to succeed. You know, the world is a big, beautiful place, and we can all share the same air and not,
for sure,
and not be of one another. Instead, you know, I think that we're taught that at a young age, right? Like you start hearing and seeing things, and women talking badly about each other, saying she's too fat, she's too skinny, her hair color is like this, you know, like, and you hear those things, but that doesn't mean it has to be a part of who you are. That's not who I am, you know, and I never want to be that. If I can uplift someone, whether I know them or not, like that's, you know, that's what I want to do.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Thanks. So, but with that, you know, that's with the events that I've held in the past, you know, they've been with shamans, they've been with naturopathic doctors, artists, meditation instructors. And again, it's just, you know, being like, hey, I have this great meditation instructor who's going to come and talk to us about meditation, whether you've done it 100 times or once. Why don't you come sit in a class and maybe you'll connect, right? And again, it's how can I make people feel good? Let's bring, you know, let's create community. Again,
and you definitely feel that. You feel that when you sit in your chair, because really, I think there hasn't been one time that I haven't been there with you where I didn't start getting into a deep 2-hour conversation with someone sitting right next to me. And like you said, one is a shaman, one is a coach, one is this, and it's just like we're all kind of together and having. Siri, I have to take you when we, or even if I don't take you, you gotta go when you get back to New York.
Come by. There's a lot of magic that happens.
Definitely.
And so, I mean, along the lines of this, you know, you're mindful also of what you're putting on people's bodies, right? You're mindful of what you're feeding them internally, but you're also mindful of what the products that you use, for instance. So do you want to tell us a little bit about
that? You know, I think life is all about balance. So it's, you know, it's not easy in the beauty world to just be like, okay, I'm going to go 100% natural now, especially when it comes to hair products and hair color. So I haven't found a line that delivers 100% that and works well. So, but there are alternatives. You know, L'Oreal a few years ago, they created a color line that got rid of ammonia and it's just, has a low level of peroxide because you need that in chemicals, especially with color, but it's oil based. So it's super nourishing for the hair as it's lifting and processing. Their bleach is ammonia free now, which is a really big deal to have bleach without ammonia. And they actually have beeswax in the formula, so it conditions the hair as it's lightening. So it's, because bleach is going to break down the hair. It's just the way it is. So that's really exciting. It kind of brings it to a whole new level of keeping hair looking beautiful and being healthy. Having this, it's like a safety net, What else? Biolage came out with a natural hair care line, which I did on you. So this line is henna, but it doesn't have any metallic dyes or tints, which usually is what gives it that red tone, or it's hard to get out, or you can't use another color after you've used henna because it has metal in it and it doesn't. Now I'm going into being a scientist, but you just can't do it.
No, but also, like, I mean, part of the reason I was afraid to dye my hair was also because of all the chemicals and the heavy metals.
Yeah.
And I have, some like health concerns, and that was something that came up for me. I'm like, I wanted the most natural alternative. And by the way, all of this was Biolage. And
that color is really great. It doesn't cover 100% of gray, but it will blend it, and you can also use the toners to tone the color after it's been highlighted. So it's really great. It's again super like nurturing and nourishing. So that's like my hair color. What I use for makeup for myself, again, it's like balance, like I use Chanel mascara, but I use Gucci Westman, her Westman Atelier line, which is an all natural line, which I wanted to show you guys. It comes in this great little packaging. But it has no parabens, no sulfates, no silicone. I mean, silicone is what clogs our pores, and ages your skin. So some of the ingredients are like caper extract, camilla seed, mango seed. So that's really great. I also love IGK. It's not an all natural line, but their products really deliver. And they are paraben free, sulfate free, vegan, cruelty free. So, those things are really important to myself and many women, especially being cruelty free. And they also have,
and these are some of the products that you use, like when you're doing weddings and doing makeup.
So these are products that we use in the salon. These are products I use on myself at home. Another line I was recently introduced to was this great Japanese line called Milbond. And Milbond has a patented silk protein that restores the hair from the inside out. And I'm super impressed with this technology. They also created the first CAT scan technology that can look at the strand of hair at 360 degrees to really see what goes on when hair is, exposed to the environment, exposed to chemicals, hair that is showing stress from something internal. So it's great because it merges both science and technology, but with, a natural aspect as well.
So we're going to actually write this in, we'll link this stuff in the description, so that, people can look into it and see if it's something, I don't know if you have it on your website, but if you do, then we'll just link it directly to that. But yeah, in case any of you want to.
Like I said, it's about balance. Like it's, and anything in life, it's hard to just jump into, I'm going to be vegan tomorrow, right? I mean, sometimes like, okay, first I'm going to cut out chicken, then I'm going to cut out steak, right? It's like baby steps. And I feel like that's what's happening with the beauty industry as well. Makeup was kind of first, and now hair care and hair products are really trying their hardest to create something where they don't have to use chemicals.
Right. And so what were your baby steps in shifting your business from like a traditional hair to, well, I mean, I don't even know how you want to label it. It's like its own thing, right? But bringing wellness into it. So it was definitely a process, right? What was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, I really love what I do, and I love making people feel good. And it wasn't, like I said before, it wasn't until my late 20s that I saw beauty in a whole new light and realized that beauty empowers personal growth. So, that's when it was like, how can I help my clients discover their true potential, right? Through beauty. How can I you know, how can I help them to see that they are so much greater than what they see themselves as, right? And I think we all struggle with that. We all have our days of insecurity, and sometimes we do need someone to just be like, hey, you're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
For
So if I
sure.
can use beauty to do that and kind of be, you know, the baby step into helping someone discover who they are and what they love about themselves, then that's what I'm gonna do. And I don't even know if it was a physical shift in the business, but more of a mental shift for myself to then be like, okay, I see what's really going on here. This is much deeper than, you know, making someone look a certain way. So how can I now take that to the next level?
So it was like your intention shifted.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, yeah.
And did that shift bring you into alignment with like a lot of your clients?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think I feel your clients are a reflection of you. You know, they are your mirror and vice versa. Yeah, I think that what you put out, it starts coming in. So I think, again, that's why, like, I have the crystals around the salon. I have the Palo Santo going. It's never like, oh, hi, so, you know, I do hair and I want to help you feel really good on the inside. Why don't you hold this crystal, right? It's
Right.
more, you ended up here for a certain reason, right? I mean, you didn't just come here, get your color done. Like, it happens organically. You know, and I think I've had many mentors and spiritual fairy godmothers who I'm so grateful for that have helped me shift into that mental place. And then just, you know, there's people who've inspired me that I I love their work ethic and I love their message, like Deanna Vierland, Oprah, Gabrielle Bernstein, Lucille Ball, I'm Steve Harvey. These are all people who really worked hard and never stopped believing in themselves. Some of
Mm-hmm.
them become known until their 30s or 40s. Some of them were so poor, but they never, you know, they lived in their cars, but they never let anything get in the way of them achieving what they wanted. And all of these people, I think, have achieved being there for others, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
about them and what they do. No, their message is so much greater. And I think in a small way, that's what I want to be able to do with my clients. You know,
Right.
so
Isn't that, I mean, like, I feel like these people, I know the people you mentioned are people that I followed my whole life as well. And like,
yeah,
even in those 3-minute, you know, videos of their story, it's just like, oh, okay, just keep going.
I mean, and Lucille Ball, I mean, first comedian, right? I mean, like, first a woman on TV to be pregnant, first woman on TV to share a bedroom with her husband, first woman on TV to be, you know, married to a Cuban man. And when she pitched the show, they're like, who would believe this is real? She's like, well, it is real. It's actually my life. You know,
Yeah.
and it's
The best stories.
this is our life.
Right. It's so interesting how these people that you look up to kind of, you take certain things from them that guide you along the way as well. And certain things really resonate with you. And I think that drives your message too. Like all those little bits that you've taken from Gabby Bernstein or Walt Disney and Steve Harvey, you kind of like implement what really you honed in on into your business.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is that underlying message that always guides you?
I think for myself and probably those people I admire, it's the same message, right? It's to have faith and to always listen to your intuition. I mean, him
Mm-hmm.
do everything you need to know. 100 people in the room could tell you, no, that's never going to work. And you have the choice to listen to them or listen to yourself and listen to your gut, right? I mean, your gut is never wrong.
Yeah.
We touched on that, right? Intuition and finding your voice and how you kind of start to create your own religion based on the tools and the people. And you know, like, I know you're like us with the quotes, you know, collecting little quotes and letting those inspire you for the day, and then it just becomes so personalized because you just internalize it in your own way with your own lens. And you know, I think that also connects us even in this conversation is
I agree.
we've all created our own religion, quote unquote, and then
Yeah.
we find that common thread in all of it.
I mean, it's the journey, right? Not the destination. I mean, the path I've taken to get me where I am today, and even in the space that I'm in now. I mean, you look back at your life, and I read something really interesting. I don't mean to go off topic, but I read something interesting in a interview with Tracy Ellis Ross, who said, um, when I was a child, I was taught and groomed to think about marriage. She goes, and I wish I was taught and groomed to think about what I want my life to look like. And I think a lot of women can resonate with that, because
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
we're little girls and we're thinking of our princess wedding, and I'm going to be married by 27. I'm 3 kids. I'm going to have a house with a white picket fence, right? And then we get older and it's like, 27 is not that far away. Do I really want that? Is that what I want at that moment? No. We shift and we change all throughout. When I started working in a hair salon, I was, yeah, I'm gonna own my own salon. And then when I started working at John Barrett at Bergdorf, I was like, oh, I could work here for the rest of my life, or I could work in a factory salon like this. Like, this is so great. And then again, it shifted to being at Warren Tricomi, being like, no, I think I do want to do my own thing. And then meeting, Vanessa, and then we went off and did our own thing. And to be two women under the age of 30 that had this big dream of, yeah, let's do this. Like, we both have the same work ethic. We both want to make women feel good. And that was beautiful for 5 years. And then again, like, the shift and change happens, and we evolve and change into different people and want different things. And then, I met Antonio, who is the founder of Studio 522, the space I work in now. And he's an incredible person. He's the original co-founder of Bumble and Bumble, and not a lot of people know that, because he doesn't care about his name being in lights. He just wants to do what he loves. So it's really a gift to have him be a part of my life and welcome me into his belief of art and beauty being one. So Studio 522, where I'm the co-creator, it's a really beautiful space where it's not just about beauty, it's about beauty and art, and we really focus on showcasing female artists.
Yeah, I love how it's such an energy thing too, right? Like, you ended
Yeah.
up doing a studio with this like humble, amazing Italian man.
Yeah.
Like, you became Italian. It was like
My
this whole
husband
energy
knew,
all
I mean, it just
yeah,
all, I mean, again, like full circle, how it all, shifts
totally.
and changes, and that's the beauty of life, right?
For sure. And how you brought together beauty, events, wellness, art in one space. Like, you were talking about it for so long, and there were even like ups and downs with it of like, can I do this? Will I do this? I have to do this. It's like that roller coaster and never actually giving up. And I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
um, so, we've touched a lot on what the process is, once people come there. But how do you feel, or how do you help your clients get resources and share information? Now, you spoke of, the Lriend Network, the LRN Network, and obviously through voice, but are there any other ways that you share information with people to,
Yeah,
to help them with their mindset of beauty from within?
Yeah, I think I mean, from the second someone sits in my chair, whether I've seen them for 10 years or they're a new client, like, my consultation is always, you know, we have an in-depth consultation to, discover like who they are, what they want, what they're looking for, right? Like, we're going into winter, so maybe I don't want to be that bright blonde, maybe that's something internal, or maybe, summer's around the corner, so I want to be tan and be super blonde. But it's always because it's not just what they look like, but also like who they are, what their maintenance is like, how often they plan to be in the salon. Somehow all these like-minded thinkers come together in this little space, and the information just flows. I mean, the experience is really magical. And Tatiana, you've experienced that, right? Like, saying before that you've connected with women and spoken to them about things that maybe you wouldn't have spoken to even your mother, your sister, or your friend or cousin, it's just, I've lost count of the amount of women who have connected, and it brings me so much joy. And there's so many women who've exchanged information and kept in touch, and women who've cried to one another, yet they were strangers 20 minutes before. And some of my clients have been with me for 15 years. I've seen them, with their different boyfriends, they're married and babies, and that's all exciting. Career changes and new homes. I've seen my clients shift and change as they have me. And yeah, I think we're all just riding the wave of life together.
Very true.
Sure.
Very true.
Yeah. So
even this pandemic, even with what's going on right now, like, we're in this together.
And you're doing these amazing little IG live videos and helping brunettes and blondes and curly hair and all types of women, like, on how they can do something with their with their hair and beauty routines. And now you're also interviewing the women on your LRN Network, which is on your website. So giving that whole community access to more in-depth information on how to take care of your skin during this pandemic, how to take care of your meditation practice, or what you can implement. So I love that you're also doing that, and giving us all access to your community in a deeper way, in a new way. So thank you for that too.
I'm so glad to be able to share it with anyone who needs it, and there could be people who don't even know they need it, and they tap in and find the page and discover something about themselves they didn't even know existed.
Totally. And look, I always get something from these conversations, like, Dorit, I know you too, like, we could talk for hours. And
I'm definitely going to be tuning into those IG lives, because I need some help these days with my regimen. For sure.
Totally. They're really good.
Yeah. Into that IG live world, it really.
Yeah.
Again, right? I mean, it's the new normal. It's something that I have been hiding from. Even like, I don't even usually post my face that much on my Instagram. I'm now like, here I am, world.
We're all kind of coming out of the closet right now, just like, hey, we just have to do this.
I always wanted to be about my work, right? And now this is part of the work.
Yep. Yeah, you have to show yourself and put yourself out there, for sure. We're getting used to it too, so.
You're doing a great job, and I had a lot of fun speaking.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and just just reminding us that it really is an inside out process, and it is just as much what you feed yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually, and it really does come out. It's a different radiance that people can see,
and it shows in your hair and your skin. So remember that.
Glowy skin, guys. Glowy skin from the inside out too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love you. I'm proud of you. Thank you for joining us, on this. Like, it's you're our first guest, so I'm glad.
I feel very honored. Thank you. Thank you both.
I'm glad it was you.
Yeah, this was a great conversation, and
thank you for allowing me to tell my story and share this with your guests and
with the world. You have an amazing story. Like, this is how we support other women too.
Exactly.
Like, this is our version of doing that. We're creating a platform not just for ourselves, but for the community, and to give a chance for like amazing people like you to come and add value to someone else's life, because you've added so much value to my life since you come into it. So I'm sure other people are going to resonate with everything you had to say. And
I mean, one thing I say every day is, when I wake up, is, how can I be of service? Whatever that may be.
Well, so. You do your daily dose, baby.
Yes, I did.
You got it done early today.
Yeah. Well, it's early for you.
Yeah, true. I'm on the West Coast.
Yeah, but you look beautiful at 8 o'clock in the morning. I have to wait until 5 p.m. to be like, hello, world. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that, you got something from this conversation. As usual, our souls are shifted after these moments. And we will link some information in our description so you can check Lauren out and stay tuned with everything that she has going on. Dorit, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that's, we'll see you all next week. And thank you so much again, Lauren, for joining us today.
Thank you both again.
Take care.
Wishing you much success.
Thank you
you
too.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye.